is a Tibetan food blogger and a YouTuber. Her focus is on raising awareness on Tibetan culture and culinary heritage through the lens of food. Let's welcome Kyikyi. Kyikyi, it's so good to have you here on Tibet TV. Welcome to the show.
Tujishe Sakinala and Tibet TV for giving me this opportunity to shine a light on our Tibetan culinary heritage. Tujishe.
So, Kyikyi, you have always been very keen about creating awareness on Tibetan culture, and you decided to do that through the lens of food. Kyikyi, can you tell us as to why did you choose food, Tibetan food, from the other aspects of the culture?
You're right. There are so many aspects that makes up one's cultural identity, such as language, religion, arts, especially in the Tibetan community. And the reason I decided to choose food as a focus to raise awareness of our Tibetan culture actually began upon motherhood. So like most new parents, I was very interested or keen in creating a wholesome ecosystem or an environment for my American-born kids, to have it be mentally or intellectually wholesome. But there was also the cultural aspect of it. And I found myself kind of naturally gravitating towards exploring a Tibetan cuisine to introduce my kids to Tibetan culture. And during that journey, I realized when exploring Tibetan cuisine that there was also very little information available online at that time on Tibetan culinary heritage. So it was a combination of those reasons, which is why my journey started with a focus on using food as a way of raising awareness of our culture.
So, Kyikyi, you grew up in Darjeeling, a small town in West Bengal, where you lived your life with your grandmother. And while watching one of your videos, I heard you saying that your grandmother, your late grandmother, was a great cook. So, did you learn your cooking skills from her?
I was actually very little when I lived with my late Momala, who was from Lhasa. So at that age, I was too busy. I was more interested in playing and enjoying your cooking rather than learning how to cook. But that said, I do have very vivid memories of my late Momala, whether it's churning the percha in the wooden tumblers or making Lhasa style shogo momo or chura momo, traditional foods that are not as commonly found in this day and age. So based on those memories, I recreate recipes drawing inspiration from my memories of my late Momola's cooking and share that with the hope that these traditional dishes are not forgotten amongst the younger generation.
So maybe that is the reason, Kyikyi, because while I was watching your videos, I really like as to how you touch upon all these small details. Like for example, I was just watching one of your videos where you were making the Tibetan tea, suja puja, and you were also explaining about the myths of drinking the Tibetan tea. You were telling when you go as a guest to some other people's house, the host will constantly, insist on pouring the Tibetan tea in your cup, to have it full. So all these small details were very interesting to watch, and I'm sure you must have gotten all these knowledge from your grandmother, like you mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
So, Kyikyi, you also had the opportunity to represent Tibetan food in the night markets there. And you had hundreds of people standing in queue to get a taste of your food. And for many, it was their first time tasting a Tibetan food and also meeting a Tibetan person. And now you have your own social media platform where you are uploading videos in English so that non-Tibetans can also appreciate and understand the Tibetan culture and the culinary heritage. So how far are you succeeding in that?
The definition of success, I think, is interesting because it will vary from individual to individual. So for me, the idea of success or how successful I've been in trying to raise awareness of our Tibetan culture through food is a fluid one. So for example, when I started doing night markets, I started with 0 customers. And over the years, I've had an opportunity to represent Tibetan cuisine to thousands of people in my local community. And likewise, when the pandemic started and night markets stopped, I continued that effort to represent our Tibetan cuisine onto YouTube channel, which I started less than a year ago. So that way, even if I can't physically be in the local community to offer our Tibetan food, I can carry on and try and teach people how to make Tibetan food, our customs, and so on and so forth. So, and then especially during Losar, for example, recently I created a series of Losar related videos and tutorials, not just how to make traditional food that we eat at Losar, but also on customs and things like that. And during that time, I received so many messages from, especially from younger Tibetans saying, Ajala, this is the first time I even planted a lopu or made bulu or, things like that, or where I had an American university professor send me a message saying that she really appreciated the Losa vlog I made and that she was going to have her 200 plus students in a class view that. So it's little things like that that add up to make me feel that I don't know that I could necessarily say that I am successful in doing what I aspire to do, but I think I'm headed in the right direction.
While I was watching one of your videos where you were unboxing all the gift items that you had received from overseas from your relatives and your family members. So it was not just about unboxing the gifts and showing the beautiful Tibetan items, but I really liked as to how you were explaining the traditional use of the items. So I'm sure that there is so much to learn from your video. So Kikila, you are also a mother of 2 children and you are also a business development manager at a software company. At the same time, you are constantly uploading videos on YouTube. How are you striking a balance in all these areas?
I wish I had a perfect answer that I have figured it all out in trying to balance all these roles that I'm trying to upkeep. And, in addition to that, I also serve on a local Tokpa, a Tibetan community organization on the board of directors. So even during pandemic, my life is very busy to say the least. And there are certainly moments and days where I feel very tired, low on energy, or feel discouraged. And I guess I try to remember, how Kundu, our dear spiritual leader, has worked so hard all his life in doing what he can for our community. So remembering that really inspires me to keep going, even when some days when I feel low, keep going and keep doing the best that I can. So.
That is wonderful, Kikila. So Kikila, more and more of the younger Tibetan generation are growing up in diaspora, especially abroad, where keeping up with the traditional Tibetan culture and identity can be quite challenging. So how are you using food, Kikila, to help the younger Tibetan generation in particular to preserve the Tibetan cultural identity?
My approach in using our cuisine and a culinary heritage towards trying to help a younger generation preserve their cultural identity, I guess is best captured by this Western proverb where it basically goes something like this: give someone a fish, you feed them for a day; teach them to fish, you feed them for life. And that's basically the approach that I take, whether it's making a YouTube video, cooking video, or a tutorial. I'm always trying to figure out how can I enable somebody else to not just figure out how to make a dish, but also learn the cultural context and the significance of that particular dish. That's why if people watch my video, I don't just say, this is how you make XYZ dish. I try to teach, the people how to pronounce a dish, the significance of the dish, and whenever applicable, the cultural customs that go around that particular dish. So that's kind of the mindset that I try to take is, try to enable them through demonstration or whatever it is as much as I can, with the hope that hopefully they will take that knowledge and apply it and pass it down to their children in future.
Kikila, when I watch your videos, I really like how you beautifully touch upon the Tibetan culture and tradition. And personally, I love your voice. I love the fact that how you narrate each and every single detail that is being shown in the video. And I'm sure, like me, there are so many other people who are learning a lot from your video about our own culture and about our own tradition. Thank you so much, Kikila, for speaking to Tibet TV. It was lovely having you here.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate again the opportunity to shine a light on Tibetan cuisine and culinary heritage. One thing I do want to say is, traditionally, um, especially when it comes to Tibetan cuisine, much of the preservation has been through oral storytelling by our elders. And especially in this digital day and age, I feel that in order for preservation, especially for an indigenous culture, to really be sustainable, documentation is very important. So if Tibet TV viewers, if that's something that you would like to support in terms of my effort to try and document and preserve, I would really appreciate if you would visit one of my platforms with us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook at Himalayan Dumplings. Katinche.
Thank you, Kikila. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next episode of In Conversation with Tibettv.